Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it. Greetings, Algo Factory Cowboy here. It is 8:30 AM EST, the 27th of August, and we did just have a little data come out, but I don't think it's going to affect the charts very much. It's the employment data. It's considered a medium impact event. So we'll just go ahead and take a look at what's going on with the NASDAQ. We did have the earnings come out for NVIDIA. Okay, so that was yesterday after the bell, and it did push the NASDAQ futures up pretty hard, but then it kind of came back down. So if I were to just kind of point that out to you, I'll zoom in. Okay, we'll zoom away from our usual resolution there at the 3-hour chart, and you can see after the bell, it seems the entire NASDAQ was waiting for NVIDIA earnings, which would make a lot of sense because if I'm not mistaken, NVIDIA is like 13-14% in the NASDAQ. So here is the gap up, and it's actually maintained that level on the NASDAQ post NVIDIA earnings. And I'd be willing to bet that the NVIDIA earnings probably look the same, or the NVIDIA chart. So NVDA, let's take a quick look at that. Actually, no, that it is continuing down, which is interesting. Let's see, 27. Let's see. Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, it might be because the market's not open yet. Okay. So we'll see what happens once the market does open, because the earnings were after the bell, right? So Wednesday, 12. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't know. First of all, I need to change the time to the proper time. And I guess we'll just have to take a look at it later. Let's move back to the NASDAQ chart. So what's going to happen now? To take a look at the algos, look, if you look at the original path that I drew, it's just based on what the algo said, not really paying as much attention to, the news or any of that stuff, just following what the data on the screen says. I expected it to either shoot up right here at that time or perhaps go sideways and to the right. Looks like we're getting something in between. Right. So now that the data is out, the only large information or news or anything that we have coming out is going to be tomorrow for the Jackson Hole. Now, today's Jackson Hole as well, so there could be surprises today via the Jackson Hole. So if you are out there trading, make sure that you keep your trades protected. And the way I do that is I keep my stops pretty tight, and I'm in and out of trades pretty quick. I would not personally be swing trading at this time, just because things can change like really, really quickly. At a big meeting like that, where all the billionaires meet and the important people, and somebody says something, and everything kind of goes haywire, and your trade might get stopped out, or you do really well, but it's just a lack of predictability, right? So in and out of trades pretty quick is how I do it. We got a message on here from Miko. Morning, Nick. I caught the bulk of the 2 legs down in the NASDAQ on the Asian session. Yeah, so definitely some trading out there for sure. Especially when it's kind of after hours in the futures, and when the data comes out right at the after hours, you're going to get reactions in the overnight markets. A lot of times NASDAQ doesn't do a whole lot after hours. In this particular case, it did. So that's awesome. Let's just take a look at the data here. There's plenty of reason for this to continue up in the way that it has been, at least for a short time, at least for a few days, maybe. It certainly could turn around wholesale at any time, right? But given the overall look, I would be watching structure on this chart. Give me a moment. Pardon me. Given that this could rotate around structure, right? So right now, the NASDAQ is in a technical move down from the top. If I were to zoom out, we would see that we had all-time highs back in June, early June, and price retraced all the way down here to 27,265, right? So there was kind of a hard panic move down, and then there was an attempt to reclaim the top right here, and then it's just been going down. And then we saw a bottom around the end of July where prices come up, and you could say it's attempted to reclaim some of the highs here, but it's just settled into what appears to be a range at this time. And in prior shows, I did predict that it's quite possible we would see the October highs again, and we pretty much did. So at this point, we're I mean, it's impossible to know the future. I would say that on a higher time frame, it's likely price will bounce around in here as a range, right? August tends to be pretty slow, and pretty slow it is so far. You can see most of August has just been this sort of, ranging, meandering move. Not a lot of volume in the summertime. A lot of people are on vacation, a lot of traders on vacation, and just in general, seasonally, it's very slow. So as we go into September, we're going to be able to see probably a little more action, which that's coming up here in like a week. So that said, I think price will probably just continue along this trajectory, and we do have a little bit of a liquidity zone up here between 30,000 or so, just above 30,000, in maybe like 29.5, roughly. Price could float back up into there, rock back and forth, or it could actually create a range based on the recent movements. But it's a bit too soon to tell how that's going to work. So as it stands right now, just for the rest of the week, I would expect this to grind up and to the right a little bit based on the data I'm seeing. However, it could be that something surprises us tomorrow at Jackson Hole. Kevin Marsh is going to talk, and we'll have to go from there. Yeah, according to Mick, yeah, definitely, I would be scalping and doing nothing else today. We also see 29480 as a pivot point, according to Micko. What do we say? 29480. I'd have to zoom in a little bit to see that. Let's see what Mick's talking about. 29480. Yeah, 511, 490. You're saying kind of in this general area, price is a pivot point. Yeah, I mean, so far you can see price does reverse at that area. Eventually, I think it'll pick up, but that's on a very short time frame. I'm not really worried about trying to forecast that. Most people watching this are not day trading, but again, the rest of the week, I would expect the NASDAQ to just kind of slowly grind up, or at least to the right. Not seeing a lot of bearishness in the near term, but we could get a surprise tomorrow, and that surprise might affect the rest of the markets. Bitcoin is poking up, and really not too different than what I had predicted earlier in the week, kind of a sideways grind and a rise up, but it's being a bit more bearish than I thought it would. I thought it would rise up towards the end of the week and try to break 83,000, and it has not yet done that. And we could be seeing, and I don't want to be the perma bear here, because I'm not. I think Bitcoin will eventually get to some new highs, and maybe not that long from now, maybe in a year or two, we'll see probably Bitcoin go above 126,000. I think it's quite possible, and how far above, no one knows. But I would say we might be looking at the beginning of a BART head. I don't mean to scare everybody, but at post having bear market lull where things kind of just grind for a while, you get these it's called the MIA, momentum ignition algorithm, and it's where price tends to kind of mash back down afterwards, right? So you have this strong move up, price moves sideways, and then it gets pushed back down, and it's just designed to take people's money. And we're looking at what looks like that to me, just kind of echoes of 2018. But I might be wrong about that, but effectively, this is what we're seeing here. This would be a momentum. It's a reverse BART head, otherwise MIA. Price kind of goes sideways for a while, and then shoots up, sideways for a while, shoots down. Those are the BART heads. So look it up. You can go see it if you just say, hey, Bitcoin BART head. In fact, I'll just do it right here on another screen here. So if I type in Bitcoin BART head and I look for images, you'll see it. Let me open this image in a new tab. This is old school stuff, but you see price go up, sideways for a while, poke above resistance to get in the moon boys, and then head back down. And they call it Bart heads because of the shape of it. So oh, you know what? I didn't share the screen. Apologies. So price heads up, goes sideways for a while, pokes above resistance to get the moon boys in, and then heads back down. So that is the Bitcoin Bart head. And there are just a million like pictures and versions of this. I'll show you another one real quick here. Give me a second to flash over to that screen. Here they are again, Bart down, Bart up, Bart down. So we could be seeing that right now, right? So if I go back here, we have a Bart down here, right? Where price has gone down, sideways, and up with the, spiky Bart hair on the bottom. And we could be seeing the beginning of a Bart head on the top, as I drew earlier. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but this looks a lot like that to me. And it just kind of takes me back to early days in trading. So that is what that is. And we are now at the end of the For the Public Live Lab. We're going to head into the private live lab. Please like and subscribe. Also check out in the description, it's a freebie. It's a free algo. I've built an algo where you get to actually see me build it before your very eyes. It's a very short video. I also show you the tools traders use to connect that algo to their broker so it can trade for them when they're not even sitting at the computer. Of course, you do need to learn how to optimize your algo before you actually plug it in. Come to algofactory.tech to learn how to do that. Come to algofactory.tech to learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro. And do not forget,
join us or die.
Just kidding. You're not going to die. We love you.